So there.
So there.
So there.
So there.
Let me know your thoughts.
So there.
So there.
So there.
Let me know your thoughts.
Why do you keep saying let us know your thoughts?
Let me know your thoughts to me is a nice lead-in for So there. So there.
Welcome to episode 66 of So There. I'm Gary Doyle.
And I'm Tom Karamitis.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm good. I see you're wearing you're wearing kind of like a festive orange T-shirt from you ran a marathon this morning or something, right?
I walked a 5K.
What's that, about 200 yards?
Yeah, I think it took about 8 minutes. You know what? I was raising money for charity, Tom. What were you doing around 10 a.m. today? Pray tell.
I got back from the gym, I was scooping cat litter, Saturday morning. I was not raising money for anyone, if that's what you're trying to get at.
I see.
I guess you're just a better human being than Tom Karamitis. But it's a low bar, as we've discussed before.
I'm better at you than a lot of things. I would say I'm better than you at being charitable.
What were you raising money for?
It's called Roberti House. It's a community house in Waukegan it's kind of like Waukegan's version of the Off the Street Club, which is kind of a place for kids to go to, to hang out, do activities, learn things, kind of get off the mean streets of Chicago or Waukegan. So, believe it or not, Tom, we do have mean streets near Lake Bluff. I know that's shocking. It's shocking to a lot of people in Lake Bluff because they don't even know Waukegan exists. So, if there's any Lake Bluffers listening to this, there is a kind of a poor community just north of us called Waukegan.
Do any of your neighbors listen to this podcast? Do you know if they do or not?
God, I hope not. I mean, as much as I make fun of Lake Bluff, and I think I've made fun of my next door neighbor, I don't know, I make fun of a lot of people. I hope not. I think people would hate me even more than they do now, which is a lot, as Trump would say, a lot. So there.
Wanted to comment as we kick things off on a couple of ad campaigns that one of them is, have you noticed that Gatorade has resurrected the Is It In You campaign? They've got a couple of new spots. I think they've got Michael Jordan. I think I've only seen pieces of them, but I guess Michael Jordan appears in one of them.
The one where athletes bleed or sweat Gatorade out their pores, like orange sweat.
Yes.
I did not know it was back.
It's back. I don't know if it's back long term or they just did a couple of quick spots, but it just brought back for me and I'm curious what your take is on it, because I always feel a weird sense of revulsion that they're implying that Gatorade is actually liquid sweat that we've scraped from athletes and put into a bottle for you to drink. How else am I supposed to interpret the visual metaphor?
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. You're absolutely correct. I did always find it off-putting. Not because of that never occurred to me. But no, you're absolutely correct. I like, it's a good line. Is it in you? Just absent of any visual. It's a good line. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could do that line without that visual. You know, Gatorade, is it in you? Is the product in you? Is the drive in you? Is the fire? All that stuff. That's a good line. But yeah, the sweating lime green sweat is a little off-putting. And yes, you are drinking that theoretically.
Yeah, as we've heard in meetings before, the visuals seem to be a little too on the nose. I mean, I agree with you. The line "Is it in you?" tells me, you know, this is the perfect stuff to be in your body when you're exerting yourself, right? This is what you need. But to see somebody sweating out the product, and it is the product. It's orange Gatorade. I mean, it's, you know, I don't know how else I'm supposed to interpret that.
Can you imagine if you were at the gym and you were sweating? You were sweating like bright orange. People would go up and go like, "Hey man, are you okay? Seriously, are you okay?" And you would say, "It must not be in you, son." Yeah, by the way, Tom, it's not called Gatorade. It's called G.
G?
Well, you knew that, right? They changed long ago. They changed the name of the product to G. It's just a G on the label. It's not Gatorade. It's G.
Oh, I haven't even noticed that. Really? Okay.
G.
So kind of like Weight Watchers becoming WW.
Yeah. Yeah. See, if that would be my idea. If I was in Gatorade, you know, G.
You're welcome.
It's for ideas like that, Tom, that I'm just barely hanging on in my career, barely clinging to employment.
Well, hey, at least you're still in your career. I saw the writing on the wall.
I've seen the writing on the wall for a long time. I'm just pretending to be dyslexic. me not know what that says. Me keep coming to work every day.
Well,
by the way, from that was not meant to offend people with dyslexia. I know that's not how they talk. Let me just say. Let me head that one off. Speaking of outrage, of people with dyslexia thinking that Gary Doyle is saying they talk that way, I will throw another ad at you that has sparked outrage, and I don't understand why. Can you guess? Is there an ad that comes to mind that has sparked outrage?
Well, for me, and we discussed this last time. I know this isn't the answer, but I was going to say the whole body deodorant craze.
We'll return to that later because there's a viewer mail about that. Ironically, but no. Have you seen the commercial with the for the iPad with all the things being crushed to make the iPad, the paint and the phonograph and the statue of Da Vinci? And all these things are crushed in a hydraulic press, and out comes the iPad, the world's thinnest ever.
Yeah, I read about it. Wasn't it also crushing musical instruments, or was that a different spot?
Yeah. Musical, okay. All
form of art.
Art. Yes, things to make art, and people are so upset about that. We're a little behind. Gary Doyle, apologies, was sick a couple weeks ago, and then I had to postpone another week. So we were going to talk about this 2 weeks ago, and it was a hotter topic. But yeah, people just all wound up about that ad. Wound up.
And Apple pulled it pretty quickly, didn't they?
They did. Apple said it was a misstep. I didn't see the problem. Did you?
It didn't offend me. I mean, I thought it was just a visual metaphor for all the arts are being crammed into this little device. I didn't see it necessarily as destroying them as much as squashing them into a little iPad-sized screen. Yeah,
the iPad lets you do these things. It lets you paint. It lets you make music. It lets you, do all these things. I thought it was a perfectly fine ad, and boy, people just got so mad. I think people sometimes just like to, some people just like to find things to get upset about.
Do you think that is a generational thing, or do you think that's people in general?
I think it's people in general. I think people just, there's a lot of outrage out there. People, if they haven't found anything to be outraged about in a while, they'll find something. Oh, my gosh, this iPad commercial, here's AI. Here's what people said about it. They said, here's AI that's, putting, artists and tech is taken over and all these things are being squeezed out. And here's this commercial that glorifies that. That's what people are all upset about. I'm like, I don't know. It seems like a bit of a reach. So there. Tom?
Yeah?
We get a lot of mail. We get a lot of messages. No.
You must get a text or two, because I checked the so there at yahoo.com box before we came on, and it was just fungal ads and things like that.
I always try to say we get a lot, and you always quickly correct me. But we did get a text from a faithful listener. Actually, an ex-client of Gary Doyle's, one of my all-time favorite clients. Dare I say, maybe my all-time favorite client. His name is Brad.
Whoa.
I know. Brad wrote and said, I was listening to your podcast this morning. You asked the question about what other products we did not know we needed, like full-body antiperspirant. Right? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember it well.
So Brad he said, well, the New York Times heard you. So a couple days after, the New York Times ran an article about straws that don't cause wrinkles. The headline says, straws don't cause wrinkles. Wait, straws cause wrinkles? Another solution to a problem we don't know we had. So it straws where you don't have to purse your lips as much around the straw, therefore not getting wrinkles. Brad brought that to our attention.
So it's a straw with a wide opening or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
All right.
It's I'll just read you a brief description. Enter the anti-wrinkle straw, shaped like the number 7, with a small hole at the top horizontal portion that allows users to drink without pursing their lips.
Solving a problem apparently we didn't know we had.
You know who could have used this straw, Tom?
The creative at Leo Burnett years ago, who you referred to as butt mouth.
I can't believe you guessed that. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you got butt mouth.
Just because that's probably one of the all-time great nicknames you assign somebody.
Oh my gosh. We did not plan that out, listeners. Of all the people, Tom Karamitis. There was a creative at Burnett we called butt mouth because his butt was sort of shaped like
not the other way.
Wow.
Legendary.
Wow. Yeah. Legendary. That reminds me of a time that I asked a friend, this is purely random, and this was a song that was about 10 years old at the time, and I said, You know what song really drives me nuts? And he goes, all I really want to do is find myself a brand new lover. Remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the song you were thinking of.
Yeah. Which made you wonder,
God.
had you ever asked that question to your friend before and just forgot?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Have I ever asked you the butt mouth question about the straw?
No. That's just my natural intuition coming through.
Butt mouth, if you're listening. Actually, he doesn't know that we call him butt mouth.
Yeah, so it's totally safe.
So there.
Well, as a palate cleanser, I have a couple of quick nouns as verbs. I thought I was starting to think maybe
we need to create a stinger for this.
We've talked about it. You know what? Since we talked about going to John Binder for a new stinger for noun as verb, but I think we both felt guilty because John's retired and we don't do much work at his facility anymore. And
right.
But
love you, John. Love you.
We do always love you, John. One of them was for Kellogg, an old a client of mine, which was talking about more delicious ways to bran. Right. But and that one I thought was on the weak side. But what was even weaker to me was what I heard last night: Jiffy Lube, car more. And I guess what the commercial was saying, you need to get your oil changed every 3,000 miles so you can car more.
That's pretty bad.
I thought so too.
Car more.
Next, we'll hear Office Max say, toner courageously. I mean, it is a formula, It's just like, I don't know. But I shouldn't make fun of it because I know you've used it before.
No, I presented a line with noun as verb to a client. They didn't buy it.
Was it wallpaper? Or was it?
Huh? Pardon?
Was it wallpaper?
What do you mean wallpaper?
Well, was it you needed to come up with 5 or 6 different ideas and you were tapped out, so you said, let me do a noun as verb?
No, they wouldn't buy anything that I presented to them. They kept saying, no, that's not any good. And I was just desperate. I was so desperate. I not only used noun as verb, I used the client's name as verb.
And you don't want to divulge this line, right?
Oh, God, no. Okay. I'd have to say the client then. Right. And they still said, yeah, that's no good. It's like a reflex action with this client at this point. It's just a reflex action. Yeah, that's really not very good. Sparky.
Son.
Should I call you Sparky or son? I don't know. It's a true story, though. True story. I just can't say which line it is, because then you'll know the client.
Someday I'll make a note of it, because this pod will continue, God willing, for the next 20 years. So,
yeah.
All right. So there.
Tom, as you know, I'm the creative director of the pod, the same way that realtors and realtor commercials call themselves realtors. I am the creative director. However, I am a benevolent creative director in that I don't have to have all the ideas. Other people can have ideas. And Tom Karamitis came to me with an idea, and I said, yeah, good idea. That's kind of creative director I am. Would you like to share the idea, Tom?
Sure. This kind of came up on one of the more recent pods. Maybe it was even the last one. We were talking about music, and we've long known that we have very, very different tastes in music. and we aren't particularly big fans of each other's favorite musical acts. So I thought, maybe in the spirit of the ongoing competition that we have in every other facet of our life, we should embark on a battle of the bands, where you choose an album from your favorite artist for me to review, and I will do the same thing for you. And then in our next pod, we will give a track-by-track review, honest, as objective as we can make it, the merits, the problems. We will review those albums from artists that in the past, admittedly, we do not care that much for. I thought that would be an interesting exercise.
Are we allowed to hate the record?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You're allowed to, maybe you hate every track on it. Maybe you hate most of them. Maybe there's one or two that you say, hey, you know what? This is actually better than I thought. Whatever happens, happens. But I thought this would be a fun exercise. And I thought in this podcast right now, we would divulge to each other what album we want that person to listen to and to review. From the glory days of our youth, probably.
Sounds good. Tom Karamitis suggested a handoff of CDs to each other. And I had to remind Tom Karamitis there's such a thing as Spotify.
Yes, there is a such thing as Spotify, but I wanted to make sure that in each case we listen to the entire album with the tracks in the order that they are presented, because there is a flow to albums and stuff. I didn't want you to just kind of hunt for various tracks and have it be all disjointed. That's all.
Okay, so let's reveal the albums. No context. You can't give any context, because I think the listener must listen without context. Now, I think that context can be revealed, right, when we talk about the records. You can give your opinion, and I can say, well, here's the deal with that record and why I recommend all that stuff.
Yeah.
That sound good?
Yep.
Okay, do you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. My favorite artist is Bruce Springsteen. As some of you know, Tom Karamitis resents Bruce Springsteen, I will just say, because he's from New Jersey, and he's grown up with all these people thinking Bruce Springsteen is God, and he hates Bruce Springsteen for that. So I'm going to assign you Bruce Springsteen, and the record is Tunnel of Love. Okay?
Got it. I wrote it down.
Now, let me just ask you, you've not heard that record all the way through, right? Because I don't think it's fair if you have.
I have not.
Okay.
I think, is there a song called Tunnel of Love?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've heard that song. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. If there's, You might have heard one or two songs, because there were one or two semi-hits on that record, but you were to listen to Tunnel of Love.
All right. You want to give me any more info on this album? Any more background, or we're just going to go in cold?
I think you should listen, and then I will share context in our next podcast, and you can do the same.
Is this? Let me ask you a couple of quick questions. You don't have to answer them. Is this a more recent Bruce album, or from earlier in his career?
Earlier, mid-career.
Mid-career. Okay.
Mid-career. It's his career started in the early 70s. This was about 1987.
Okay.
So mid-career.
All right. I will listen. I will take careful notes, and I will report back.
I'm in a panic with the record of Tom Karamitis I have to listen to, because I'll be honest, let me just say Tom Karamitis' musical taste is not my own.
Which is what makes this exercise so valuable. I think it can be a growth opportunity for the both of us. And I predict that at some point in the future, we will each wear a T-shirt of the other person's band. All right?
Whoa.
On that note, my favorite band is a band from the 70s called Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You've met the keyboard leader of that band, Keith Emerson. You met him at the House of Blues in Los Angeles with me.
He was a gentleman.
It was we were doing a 7-Up commercial, and we wanted him to write the music.
No, it wasn't 7-Up.
No. Well, I'm sorry. It was Fruitopia. You're right.
Fruitopia.
Which was a Coca-Cola beverage. I'm sorry about that. We also worked on 7-Up together. That's why.
Yeah, we did.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer is the band. The album is called Brain Salad Surgery. from their middle of their career, much like Bruce. This was their 4th studio album. So,
okay, I've heard of the record.
You've heard of the record.
Of course, heard of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Is this one of their triple albums? It'll take about a week to listen to?
It's a single album.
Whoa.
It probably contains their most iconic song. That was not talking about their hit singles like Lucky Man and stuff. It's not like that, but you will recognize some of the stuff on that album.
Is there any song on the record less than 19 minutes long?
Yes. Yes. The entire album is probably about 42 minutes, a typical album length for a single album. How many songs are on Bruce's Tunnel of Love album, would you say?
Oh, reasonable, 10, 12 songs. I imagine it's about 40 minutes long as well.
All right. I will tell you right now, I will listen to your album several times. I like to listen to it first all the way through, no notes. Then I come back and start taking notes. That was the Tom Karamitis technique when he was in college radio.
Whoa. All right, I will pledge to listen to Brain Salad Surgery.
And I will also
times. That's an off-putting title, by the way.
That was a lyric from a Dr. John song. They originally wanted to call the album Whip Some Skull on Ya, which is a euphemism for oral sex. And then Atlantic Records said you can't name it that. So then they took a lyric from Dr. John, Brain Salad Surgery, which apparently means the same thing, I guess. And that's what they named the album. So
did Keith Emerson say, "What's wrong with being sexy?" Sexist, Keith.
I do want to make one other request. You and I, as you know, trade voicemails quite often. We never actually speak. We just trade voicemails. I don't want to have any mention of these albums until we do it on the next podcast. I don't want to have Gary Doyle call me up and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe what you've put me through. My life is not long enough."
All right. Well, listen, the bar is low. If Gary Doyle, I will say, I enjoy almost any kind of music. I enjoy rock and roll, hip hop, country, jazz. There's really only a couple of genres that I cannot listen to. One of them is kind of art rock, which I think Emerson, Lake and Palmer fits into, and the other is, jam band music like Grateful Dead or Fish. Right? I cannot listen to that. Those are two genres of music I don't understand why people enjoy them. So it's a low bar. I'm going in with no expectations.
So how are you going to listen? You're going to look these things up on Spotify and just sit in the basement with your earphones in?
Yeah, I think I'm going to fire up my big orange bong. No, I don't do drugs like that. I don't do drugs at all. I don't know. I will listen to it where I can devote listening. Do you know what I mean? It won't be like, well, I'm doing something else like cooking.
Yeah. I like that. I will do the same. I will shut myself in a dark room and I will have at it. All right. So that'll be the headline on the next podcast, probably a month or so from now. So until then, for Gary Doyle, this is Tom Karamitis saying, so there.